Welcome back to Sister Circle Live. She is an accomplished actress who you affectionately know from The Facts of Life, Living Single, and so many movies that really make us just smile.
And now she's getting us all ready for the Christmas spirit and getting us in the holiday with her new movie on Lifetime called You Light Up My Christmas. Let's take a look.
And as he would string said lights around the tree, he would begin to tell me the famous story of how his grandfather got sick as a little boy. And his dad, my great-grandfather, Roy, would dip light bulbs in red and green paint. And he would hang those light bulbs in the tree outside of his window to lift his spirits.
Please welcome our sister, Kim Fields.
Yay!
I'm doing just fine.
How are you?
Just fine. Honey.
Good.
I love how you came out here, just very festive, getting us ready for the holidays.
Thank you.
You look amazing. I love that. You look so pretty.
Thank you. Well, I knew who I was going to be next to. You got to bring the thunder when you in the circle, baby. I know what to do.
Well, first of all, welcome back to Atlanta.
Thank you.
We miss you here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I saw you guys lighting up the tree, and I've already put my Christmas tree up.
Okay.
And when I put up my tree, I like to drink hot chocolate.
Of course.
And listen to holiday music.
Yes.
And you have a limited edition of tea and coffee and hot chocolate.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Yes. So, you know, one of the early times that I was here, we had just launched Signature Blends by KF.
Yes.
And so the coffee,
which is really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
way.
So the coffee and tea, we've now added, since then, we've added hot cocoa and tea. And so for the movie, we have now created a limited edition collection called The Kiss of Light, because of course you light up my Christmas.
I love that.
Yeah, and so we've got wonderful hot cocoa and tea and coffee, and
It's so
just
festive.
ready for the holidays.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you have it, but another good idea would be like a mint cocoa.
Ooh, we do have it. It's called Snuggles in a Jar.
I love Snuggles in a jar.
Come on, I'll get you some.
Snuggles
I'll get you
in a jar.
I know people. I know the KF.
Exactly.
Yes, knowing yourself.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your movie, You Light Up My
Yes,
Christmas.
yes.
What made you do this movie, and also, I understand it's based on a true story. So how did that inspire
so
you?
Well, thank you. There's elements that are inspired by a true story in terms of the kind of the creation of Christmas lights, that concept. And so that's what you just heard in that clip there with myself and Mr. Adrian Holmes, who's my leading man. Y'all, I was a leading lady. He's handsome, but let me tell you, he is such a solid actor. There he is, award-winning Canadian actor who brought the thunder.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so being able to do a story that incorporates light, incorporates the parallel of inner light, and the magic that you can create with that. And so that was really important.
Yeah.
And the true story component is like what they said in the clip, where this man in Colorado, his son got sick of, I don't know, maybe back in the 20s or so, and so he dipped light bulbs in red and green paint and strung them outside the boy's window in a tree, and it was said to lift his spirits, and that was the story of Christmas Christmas lights.
It's just so sweet.
It is, isn't it? So the nice thing is that with Family Legacy, my character in the movie kind of borrows that story, and so my family has a Christmas light factory that's over 100 years old. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of family and legacy and childhood, your childhood friend Adrian, let me get the name right, Adrian Holmes.
Adrian Holmes.
Yes.
So we play childhood friends in the movie. I didn't know him as a child, so we just met for this.
Okay.
But we play childhood friends in the movie, and he's my ex in the movie.
But you do have real childhood friends from The Facts of Life that are in the movie cast. Talk to us about that.
So it's so exciting to have my Facts of Life sisters there. There's 2 out of the 3 who join us. Nancy McKeon is in the movie as well. She unfortunately had to deal with a family emergency when we were filming those scenes, and so she couldn't come up to Vancouver to film with us. But she does make her appearance as well. And we're all together, and it was really great. As
That was a good reunion,
producer,
right?
It was fun, you know, as executive producer of the movie as well, to be able to say to them, hey guys, I'm doing this, would love to have you do a special appearance. What kind of characters would you like to play? You know, what are the names that you'd like? All that stuff. So it was just some fun Christmas whimsy that we could include. In addition, the ice skating rink that we have in the movie is named for Charlotte Rae.
Oh, that's
All right,
amazing.
I
You and your
just
company
love
just doing your
it.
thing.
Well,
I
I'm so
know.
happy.
And don't sleep
for
on
you.
Kim, honey. Don't sleep on Kim. I'll tell you
Don't
that.
get any sleep. How about that?
I'll tell you. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you,
and coming
sis.
by. We love you to have her here with us today. But you definitely want to watch You Light Up My Christmas on Lifetime this December, honey, at 8 p.m.
December 1st.
December 1st.
Right.
How about that?
If you're staying with us for the full hour, Kim will be at the table next. And of course, the conversation always continues at Sister Circle TV on all social media platforms.
Kim, you're over here making all the money.
Yes, welcome back. We are here again with the amazing Kim Fields, and we could not let her go without joining all of us at the table.
At the table. I got a seat at the table,
Yes,
y'all.
you do. Always.
Well, we just love when you come down to the circle. You're just like the fifth sister.
Yes.
That's right.
But
That's right.
but a mentor as well. You always bring such a wealth of knowledge here. And speaking of wealth of knowledge, you found your niche in making feel-good movies, which is awesome, that have actual content, that is good content.
Thank you.
And on multiple networks. Do you think, though, that the women in this business get put into a box and aren't allowed to show all of their talents and facets
Sure.
in the industry still? We're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
dealing with this.
You know, I think that about people. I think overall, you know, that we get put into a box. And sometimes I think the media or fans or even the industry will do it if you get typecast, you know, and you start playing a certain type of character. And then it's like, well, no. And people will say, you know, well, so-and-so, that's my favorite character. Or she'll always be such and such to me. Well, that's kind of limiting.
Yeah, it
Don't
is.
box folks in like that.
Right.
You know, there's so much like this one. We were at commercial. I was like, oh, we was acting. Recently, yes, we got our act on.
Yes.
But you know, even with that, she was able to come outside of what you guys may know
Yeah.
and do other things. So I think overall, but specifically, of course, and sisters, you know, for the women, we have to make sure we keep showing that we are outside the box.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you think that is advantageous for when we negotiate those contracts? You know, we are always trying to, you know, have our seat at the table.
Yeah.
But then we always have to lean in to tell people, you know, how worthy we are. Have we gotten to the point where we can stop leaning in and talent just speaks for itself?
We should be, but you know, overall, I've really felt like it's that's almost like a never-ending journey.
Yeah.
Where you always have to show your worth at a certain level. You always have to keep pushing the business envelope in negotiations. And right now, we're about to, you know, we're finishing up closing a deal for a project that I start next year. And you do have to. It's not just it's not just about having a seat at the table. It's having a voice when you get to the table.
I know that's right.
And so you have to make sure that you have a voice. And then what are you saying with your voice? Because when you actually get to the table, you have your voice. Then when you open your mouth, is it going to be like wah 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 wah? People are going to be like, oh,
Yes,
wait,
exactly.
no. Or are you really going to have something prolific or profound or important to say for yourself, for your well-being, for the people around you, that sort of
And
thing.
those that you have to leave the door open for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. You got to bring somebody.
But with that being said, what do you think about Monique right now and her lawsuit?
Everybody's got their own journey, and especially, you know, in the business world. And so, you know, if you have to find different ways to make that voice heard, then that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. And if that's for her and her team, what she's got to do to, you know, make it happen, then so be it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit more about your Lifetime movie, You Light Up My Christmas.
Yay.
So out of that, here comes another project that's born out of it. It is called Designing Emma, where
Yes.
it's everything behind the beauty of Emma.
Yes, absolutely. So excited about that. So my team worked really, really hard with me to create, as well as the artisans in Canada where we shot the film, to really create this wonderful character and set of characters for the movie. And so behind the scenes, Designing Emma, we talk about how we came with the hair idea for the unit that was created, the makeup design, the palette, the clothing, and just that entire process. And we do a really thorough beauty breakdown with the Christmas looks and things like that, just because it's not just about the character and what's said, but you know, you can do things with hair and makeup and wardrobe to also tell your story. And you know, for those of you who are watching, if you're a storyteller, and pretty much everybody has a story in them, but there's ways that you're a storyteller and you don't even realize it. You know, as a hair person, as a costumer, as a writer, as a makeup artist, and things like that. So it's a wonderful piece that Lifetime, and I have to give a shout out to Lifetime when I talk about having a seat at the table as executive producer of this film. I had a strong voice that was heard and respected by Lifetime with this movie.
You know, Lifetime love the women.
Right.
Because every Sunday,
Yeah.
you know, they give it to us like we need.
You will tune into Lifetime and be stuck. The entire week has passed, and you're still watching Lifetime.
And you know, even our director, Rhonda Baraka, and I think she's watching. Right. So Rhonda directed the film, and she directed. Now, before I even got to work with her, Quincy, our 5-year-old, he got to work with her last year on Pride and Prejudice for Lifetime. They directed that.
Yes. Well, speaking of your babies,
You better go with the segue.
so do you and your family have your own traditions? What do you and the boys generally do for the holidays?
So Chris and I and our 2 kids, Sebastian and Quincy, first we try to wait until after Quincy's birthday, which is December 3rd.
Oh my God!
Same as mine.
Twins, yes. Twins.
And triplets because my daughter's birthday is on the 3rd as well.
I remember we talked about that. So we try not to do anything for Christmas until after December 3rd.
Me too.
But then we do the tree, we do the lights. The boys and I usually decorate the tree, and then Chris will put the star on top. We always are listening to Christmas music and things like that. But this year, to be able to launch the holiday season with the movie December 1st, that's going to be
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Awesome.
When you look at your life, and as we close out, do you ever sit back and say, "Wow, God, you have continued to allow me to flourish"?
Girl,
Yes.
you're not gonna have me laid out on this table in straight worship. You're not gonna do that.
We intercede down there.
What are those moments like?
Those moments are overwhelming. Those moments are such a deep-seated joy that you almost, if you're on the outside looking in, it almost seems like I don't have joy because it's so internal that it's just it's surreal.
Yeah.
And it is so overwhelming that blessing, and I mean it's very internal because it's you look back over everything.
That unspeakable joy.
Come on now. Come on now. When I think of the goodness of Jesus and all He's done for me, my soul cries out. And so sometimes you got to just hold that up. It's like fire. Shut up in my bones.